Alright guys, in this video I'm going to go through the product rule practice and just do a couple of examples from each level. So let's start with level 1. So we have this function, -1 plus 8x squared minus 10x to the negative 3, and that's one function times the second function, 3 plus 3x to the negative 1. So this is a product of two functions, so I'm going to be using my product rule. And so I will write my first function as my f. So that'll be -1 plus 8x squared minus 10x to the negative 3. And then my second function I'll call g. So that will be 3 plus 3x to the negative first power. And now I'm going to find their derivatives. So f prime would be derivative of a constant is 0, derivative of 8x squared is 16x, derivative of this is positive 30x to the negative 4, and then for my g prime function, derivative of 3 is 0, derivative of 3x to the negative 1 is negative 3x to the negative 2, and now I am doing crisscross applesauce because I'm doing product rule. So and they want it in any form, so let's see if they take it in any form. So this will be -1 plus 8x squared minus 10x to the negative 3, and then negative 3x to the negative 2, plus, looks like 16x plus 30x to the negative 4th times 3 plus 3x to the negative first power. So I'm going to go ahead and type that all in here, and hopefully it will accept it. So remember, you do Shift 6, that will give you up into your exponent, or you can use the keyboard right here. You'll notice I'm not doing any sort of simplification because it'll take it in any form. So those are my favorite types of DeltaMath problems. All right, let's see it. Woohoo, they did it. They did, so we did this part first, they did it second, but it's fine because you can add in any order. All right, let's try one more. So for this one, there you go. I'll have to move my g over a little bit. So for my f function, my first piece, I have negative, oops, maybe if I use the actual pen, negative 3x to the negative 2 minus 9, and then for f prime, I'll have 6x to the negative 3. For g, I have negative 2x minus 3x cubed plus 2. And for g prime, I'll have negative 2 minus 9x squared. And then we do crisscross applesauce. I'm not going to bother writing this one out, so we're just going to type it in. So I'll start with my f function, so negative 3x to the negative 2 minus 9. And then g prime is negative 2 minus 9x squared, plus f prime, which is 6x to the negative third, and g, negative 2x minus 3x cubed plus 2. Voila. All right, so that's level 1. Let's go ahead and look at level 2. So in this problem, it looks like we don't necessarily just have like two functions just straight being multiplied together. And so in this section, right, I have x squared and then I have minus x squared sine of x. You have to first identify where the product is. And so in this scenario, the product is right here. So at the very end, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring down this. I can take the derivative of this separately. So this will just be the derivative of x squared if this is f. F prime we'll put all the way down here, would be 2x minus, and now I'm going to work the product rule on this piece because I have a product of functions here. Okay, so then we have our x squared, which its derivative will be 2x, and then I have my sine of x function, which its derivative will be cosine of x. And so if I do crisscross applesauce with that thing, I'll have x squared cosine x plus 2x sine x. You usually put your trig function at the end just so it doesn't accidentally look like if I wrote sine of x 2x, like we don't want that to be sine of 2x squared, so we usually put our trig function at the end. And so then that's the derivative of that product. Oh my goodness. That's the derivative of that product rule. So down here, I'm going to be subtracting that whole thing. So let's go ahead and we can just put it in parentheses, and then we'll see if DeltaMath will actually accept that as our answer. It does say in any form, but it's been finicky in the past. So let's do 2x minus x squared cosine x plus 2x sine x. Yep, it's good to go. So they distributed it, which obviously you can do if you want, but why mess up the simplification if you got the calculus, right? All right, this one looks like a very similar type of problem. So in this one, I have x cubed minus x squared cosine x. And again, this is another problem where the product itself is only located here. So this is what you'll have to do the product rule for. This x cubed, we can already take the derivative of separately. So 3x squared minus, and then we'll put our product rule answer in there. All right, so we start off with an x squared. That's derivative is 2x. And then we have cosine. The derivative of cosine is negative sine. And then we do crisscross applesauce. So we get negative x squared sine x plus 2x cosine x. And so then that is what we'll plug in down here. Make sure you have those parentheses though, because you're subtracting that function, that product, so you should be subtracting its whole derivative. All right, 3x squared minus negative x squared sine x. Plus, oh, why did I do that sign weird? It's got that n that's up a little higher. 2x cosine x. Okay. There we go. Yep, and then like they'll continue being those similar sets of problems. So that is the product rule practice.